Consider that your manager asks you one simple question. How's our business performing? Would you spend 30 minutes scrolling through thousands of Excel rows? Or could you answer it in just 10 seconds? In this video, we are turning the raw data superstore into the professional dashboard that instantaneously shows sales, profits, order, profit margin, and average order value. And by the end of this session, you will see how a dashboard can turn thousands of rows into one powerful business story. So in order to create that, let's start working with this. And we'll also talk about the concept of slicers in this, and we create a few KPIs, key performance indicators here, right? As already mentioned. So I'm going to take a new sheet and I'm going to name it dashboard, which we are going to create that. And I'm going to create a new sheet and we'll give the name as pivot table. So this is the dashboard where we are going to create that. For that, I'll click on insert and I'll take some shapes and refer here, right? Okay. So let me draw here. So there I'm going to edit the text. So this is my superstore dataset dashboard, right? And I'll press Ctrl E in order to get the text in the center, right? Okay, that's fine, perfect. Now for that, I'll also insert few more shapes here, right? In order to define my KPIs here, as already mentioned, the total sales, right? Insert shape, one for total profit, okay? So I will try to keep it in the same shape, right? So that it will be easy for us to make consistency, right? Okay. Or instead of that, I can also copy this, right? That would be much more easier so that there will be no space for inconsistency, right? So I have to define the 5 key performance indicators. This is why I'm taking 5 different shapes, okay? Which I'm defining here. Perfect. Okay. So let me click on all of this and move it a little bit to the right side. Perfect. So what are these? Let me write the text here. So this will be total sales. Okay. That is my first key performance indicators that I want to give. Then in the second one, I would like to reflect total profit. Okay. Perfect. Let me keep this also in the center. Then I would like to keep total orders, right? Then I would like to reflect profit margin. Okay. So let me keep the text a little bit less. And the last one I would like to reflect here is average order value. Okay. That is our AOV, right? Perfect. So for this we need some values, right? Okay. What is the total sale? That is the reason we have created a pivot table sheet where we are going to create the pivot tables and we'll get the total sales, right? So for this, I'll click on insert pivot table. I'll select my table range, that is the entire table, and existing worksheet, that is pivot table. I'll click OK. So the pivot table has been added. So what I want, I just want total sales, right? So I'll drag it to the values field. I'll click on the drop down value field setting and I'll give the name as total sales. Okay, perfect. So this is the total sales. So that is roughly around $2.3 million, right? The data was actually present in dollars. Okay. So dashboard, I'll come to the dashboard. I right click on that and I'll say edit text and I hit enter and I'll write here $2.3 million. Okay. Perfect. So if somebody asks you that, okay, how you get this data, you can even keep this pivot table sheet here. And you can even link this box to the sheet also, that somebody clicks over that, they will get to know the data. Okay, so I'll right click on that and I'll say link this. Okay, and in the link you will get what? You will get different options there. Okay, I can show you also this, right? So let me just show it to you. Yeah, so you can show this also, right? Okay, as you can see in this video. So I'll say place in this document and I want to refer it to the pivot table sheet, right? Okay, I'll click OK. So now in case somebody wants to know how this data comes into your Excel, right? Let me show you the Excel again. So you click over there and it will take you to the pivot table sheet, right? So it would be easy for us to show the data, right? Similarly, I can, in the same sheet of pivot table, I'll click here and I insert another pivot table, and same way I'll select the entire range. Okay, and I'll click OK. So I need total profit. That will be, I'll drag over there and change the value field setting to total profit. Okay, perfect, and I'll click OK. So we got this data also. That is roughly around 2.1 10,000 lakh. That is roughly around 2,92,000. So roughly it is 2.9 lakh dollars. Okay, which is there. So you can obviously insert here. Perfect. Click OK. So 2.9. Okay. So this is how you define that. So again, you can link this also, right? Perfect, same way. You can right click on that link and link it to the pivot table sheet so that they can see that. Okay. So total number of orders, for that again, I'll go to the pivot table sheet. I'll insert pivot table. I'll select the entire data same way. Click OK. And I'll drag the total number of orders, right? So from the order IDs, we can get that. So value field setting, and I'll give it as total orders. Perfect. And because we want to count, that is why we have taken that. So this is the total number of count. So I'll go to the dashboard in the cell and paste it over there, right? Okay, so the total number of orders. Profit margin, for calculating the profit margin, right? Okay, so your profit margin will be equal to, you need to get this value, right? How? Your total profit divided by total sales. Okay, divided by total sales. So you'll be able to get that profit margin. That is roughly around 12%, 12.5%, right? So I'll go to the dashboard, hit enter. So 12.5% I'll mention. And similarly, in order to calculate the average order value, right? So you need to get total sales divided by total number of orders. Okay. So your average order value will be equals to total sales divided by total number of orders. So it is roughly around $228, right? Okay, so I'll click on dashboard, hit enter, $228, right? So we can also link to the sheet, right? Okay, same way. I'll select the pivot table sheet. I'll right click on this box and link to the pivot table sheet, right? And to average order value link, and I'll link to the pivot table sheet. Okay, same way we have performed it for others. Okay, so now I'll click anywhere on this box. I'll be able to get it to the pivot table sheet where this entire calculation has been done. Okay, perfect, that's great. So now after this, what I want to do one more thing, right? That is to show some charts also for like the sales, like how much sale I have done for month wise, what is the trend, right? Total sales by category, how much profit we are generating region wise. This is what I want to do. For that again, I'll go to pivot table and here I insert the pivot table again, and I'll select the range, right? I click OK. So I would like to show here first of all a month wise trend I want to show of the sale, right? For that, what I'll do, I'll take the order ID, drag it to the rows. Okay, this is what I want. And from there we only need months, we don't need years, right? So I can remove that field also, right? We don't need quarters. Okay, we only need months, so I'm keeping the months, and I'll get the sales, and I'll drag it to the values. So we'll get the sum of sales. Now I want to show the trend instead of representing the data. So what I want, I will insert the charts, right? And I would like to show it in a line chart because it shows the trend. Okay, so once you click on insert charts, you will see the line chart option and you can get that. So I'll copy this and I'm going to paste it here, right? Okay, and we can just make it up to this. Perfect. Okay, so this is the trend we are showing it here, right? That's looks perfect placed. So yes, so if somebody wants to get this data here, right? Okay, so we can get it from there. Now I would also like to represent some more things here, right? Okay, to show this another thing like category wise, what is the total sales we we have got, right? Okay, so again I'll go to pivot table. I can insert the pivot table in the same sheet. So I'll select this entire data, click OK. Now I would like to show category wise sales. So I'll get the sum of sales in the values. I'll get category also, which is mentioned here. So category wise sales. Okay, so we got category wise sales. For that we can show comparison, and for comparison we can take the chart, which is column chart, so that we can show the difference, right? So I'll get this chart here and we'll paste in the dashboard. Perfect. So I'll drag it to here. Okay, and let me take only half space because I want to keep half space for another table to show the profit margin, to show the profits by region wise. Okay, so I click on insert pivot table again. So I'll select my data again, right? Click OK. So region wise I would like to show the profit. Okay, region wise I would like to show the profit. So this is what we got. So insert, I'll again place charts, because here again we can show the comparison, right? Okay, which region is doing good or where we need some improvement. Okay, so I'll paste it here and I'll place it here and keep it of the same size so that it will look good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think it looks good till now. So this is the kind of dashboard which is represented here. As you can see Superstore dataset dashboard, right? Okay, I think the spelling is wrong. I need to put here H also. Perfect. So this is total sales, right? Which is linked to the pivot table sheet. This is the sum of sales. Okay, from where we can select the month also, in case I want to show only for a specific month or a specific date range. And I can show the category wise sale and the profit by region. Now one more thing we want to keep here is slicer, right? Okay, for that I'll go to the pivot table. I select the pivot table for which I want to show the slicer. Okay, let's suppose I want to show the slicer for category wise, right? Okay, so this is the table that we have created for the category wise. So I click on the pivot table, I'll go to the insert and I'll go to slicer, right? And with this, a new pop-up window will appear. From there you can select that, right? So I would like to select it for the selected for category, and I'll click OK. Once you click OK, you see that in your sheet this slicer will appear that you can place it in your dashboard, right? Okay, so that if somebody wants to show only furniture wise data, right, category furniture wise, so I'll just click OK. Perfect. And similarly I can click here to remove the filters, and I'll go to the pivot table again. So this is for region wise. I click OK, and again I'll insert slicer for the same, and that is for region. So I click OK. Perfect. And I'll get it for region and I'll paste it in my dashboard, right? So, and I'll place it here. Okay, so that it would be easy for me to control my charts from here only, right? Because we have got slicers here and easy for me. Okay, similarly we can also do one more thing. Yes, we can have more slicers also, right? If you want to show, so that you can keep on adding here also, right? Okay, so you can also add one more slicer, right? Okay, that is segment wise if you want to show the data, right? So I'll just click OK and click OK. So I'll copy this and I'll paste in my dashboard, right? Okay, so there I'll place it. Perfect. So I'll click here, click here, click here, and then move it to a little bit on the right hand side. Perfect. Okay, so now if I just want to show the central data, I click on that. I just want to show the customer data. That can also control in the profits, right? Or the sum of profits or sales if I want to. For whatsoever the pivot table, if I want to control, I'll add slices in that. So this is the dashboard. That's how it looks like. So we can control it, right? And that is one of the example where we have used slicers. We have used how to create dashboards and our KPIs, right? And we have created that, right? I hope that you can use this exact dashboard and turn obviously into turn this also for the various other exercises or other sample data sets with which you can work and gather more information about this, right? So that's it from my side. Follow Mindex site for more videos. Thank you.